Hi, I'm Daphne Young with Child Help, and here we are in the midst of a pandemic, and now we're facing a virus that is much more infectious and insidious and lethal than COVID 19, and that is systemic racism and discrimination. And 1 800 4 child, the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline, wants to be a resource for your family dialogue on this issue. And our counselors have put together a pretty great guide of how to manage the discussion from age 0 all the way through to your teens. And we'd like to let you know a little bit from our expert point of view of how you can not only just talk to your own children, but raise the kind of individuals that are going to create lasting and loving change in our society. So I wanted to share with you just from the beginning, 0 to 6, right? These are ages where you're struggling with just teething and potty training, and you're like, how am I going to teach my child to be a good citizen on top of all of this? And this is just the time where you need to lay a positive groundwork, and that means teaching your child the basics of compassion and tolerance. It's some simple stuff, but it's the most essential teaching that you'll do in your child's life. Expose your child to diversity if it's not already in your community. Seek film and food and books and teach them languages and expose them to different ethnicities. Our kids are so much more curious and better at this than we are. I know at our child help villages, the little ones come in completely disconnected, but somehow unified by the difficult stories that they have in their past. And these are kids that have experienced the worst abuse, the worst neglect you can imagine. But they show up and they move into one of our cottages, and within a few months, they put their arm around a child of a completely different race and they say, this is my brother or this is my sister. So they're better at this than we are at a very young age, and we want to encourage that and enforce that. And this is also a time where we want to limit their exposure to violent or scary images and videos. So some of the things that we're seeing in the news right now, these are part of our discussions with our older children, but we want to keep our children a little sheltered from that and focus on the positive messages we can give them that will help them in their development. Now, from the ages of about 6 to 8, let children lead the conversation. They're going to be curious, but they will be talking to you about what they want to know. They're going to be attuned to issues of fairness at this age. So as you're watching news stories, bring it down to their level and ask what they've seen or experienced that maybe helps them understand the stories that are out there right now. Acknowledge difference. Just saying we don't see color in this household doesn't work. There are great colors all around us, and we need to kind of acknowledge that we're a little different, but we're all unified. We all want some of the same things. We're all Americans, right? And there's something great about what brings us together. So don't pretend it doesn't exist, and watch for teachable moments to have discussions about bias and inequality and conflict. But keep it simple and keep it honest. They still have some pretty literal minds between 6 to 8, so their comprehension and understanding is somewhat limited, but we don't want to dismiss their fears, and you don't want to underestimate how much they can bring to the table just in their questioning. From about 9 to 11, you want to be aware of their exposure to upsetting news videos or content at this age. They're going to get information from technology, from peers, social media, family members. So really be attuned to what they're seeing, hearing, and being influenced by. This is the age where you want to be so careful about predators on the internet anyway. So your prevention mind should also be your intervention mind when it comes to racism or any issues that your child may face online or in the community. So be proactive and have open conversations about the topic. What are they hearing? And share your family values. So, if something comes up at the Thanksgiving table and you don't want a big conflict, that's fine. But on your drive home, you need to say, hey, we love Uncle Bob. However, we have some different views and we want to tell you why and how we feel about the world. And make sure to make those corrections, because the way you behave and the way you feel about things is so important. And it can be helpful to begin teaching the difference between rumor and fact at this age. The kids won't be necessarily writing essays with great source materials, but the difference between a YouTube blog from an influencer of some kind and a reliable source will become so important to them in the next couple of years. And so even beginning that conversation can help them get better information and allow them to be a citizen of great information that is well informed about the issues that impact us in society. From 13 on, this is a vital time in the establishment of personal identity. Teens often fail to see things in the full complexity and can lean towards stereotypes or oversimplified thinking. And we want to make an effort to keep the conversation open without shutting them down if they believe something differently than we do. And we want to teach them gray areas and nuance and help them understand cultural and historical factors they may not be aware of. Teens often feel compelled to act, right? When they believe in something strongly, they want to get out and shout it in the streets. And so they can also be impulsive about their actions. And so you need to help them channel their belief systems into something positive. So, being kind to one person, getting in front of bullying, the types of things they can do in their day-to-day life can be essential to shaping maybe ways that they may influence policy or greater issues in the future. And as parents, we have to be a safe place for our children to come to us with questions. We have to teach them coping skills, and they are very aware of hypocrisy at this time. So we have to act our values. We can't just speak it and then behave differently in public because they're watching our every move. So make sure to be aware of that. And realize also that teens can be naturally drawn to role models they idolize. So if you see someone out in Hollywood or in the sports realm that has the values that you share, have a conversation about why. Point to that person and say, we loved him in this movie, but let me tell you about some of the things he believes, in his personal life. And let's discuss why those are important to us as well. At every age, it is so critical to be open and honest and responsive and open up communication that is developmentally appropriate, but also engages the mind of your child and helps them understand that you truly stand for something, that you as a parent believe in something. Silence, avoiding issues, it can look like acceptance or apathy. So acknowledging the reality of racism or inequality helps your child know that you are part of something bigger and better, and they will follow in your footsteps to create true change in the future. So I thank you so much for listening to some of our tips. And if you have any questions, if you want to open up a dialogue with your child tonight, call 1-800-FOR-A-CHILD, or you can text and chat with us at the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline. We have professional crisis counselors that are available 24/7. They can translate in over 170 languages. You'll never get a bot. You'll never get a volunteer. You'll always get a degreed professional who can help you open up lines of communication and build a dialogue for tomorrow. So we don't have a vaccine for COVID-19 right now, but we sure need to find a cure for racism. Thank you.